Some had armor, for that in the sea had protected them from their enemies. Now it would help them conserve moisture. They were the ancestors of today's millipedes. Small holes had developed along the underside of their bodies that led to internal tubes with which they could absorb oxygen from the air. Their rigid, jointed legs, however, were largely unchanged and worked very well on land, even without the support of water. Battering ram heads enabled them to bulldoze their way through the vegetation to collect the rotting plants on which they fed. They grew big, increasing the number of segments in their bodies. Some had over 300, each with 2 pairs of legs. Some that didn't curl up reinforced their armor with plates along their backs. Crustaceans like shrimps came too. They were the ancestors of woodlice. So today there is a huge and varied population of animals living on the land with bodies that are little different from those of their ancestors who lived in the sea so long ago. And they are extraordinarily successful. Some are the most numerous of all land-living species. But we seldom see them. This pin will give you an idea of why. They're tiny. This minute little creature is a springtail. It's less than 0.5 millimeter long, the size of a full stop. In 1 square meter of soil, there may be over 10,000 of them. Drying out is a very real danger for them, and some waterproof themselves regularly with a droplet of special grooming fluid. You might even say that they have turned bathing into an art form. They even have 2 inflatable tubes that enable them to get to those hard-to-reach places. To help them get around through the leaf litter, these springtails, as their name suggests, have a rather novel way of jumping. They have a tiny 2-pronged lever beneath their abdomen. One small flick from it can catapult them 6 inches, some 15 centimeters, into the air. It's the equivalent of a human being jumping over the Eiffel Tower. And if they happen to land upside down, well, they have a special way of righting themselves. They use their grooming fluid dispenser to stick onto the ground so that they can pull themselves back onto their feet. So the foundations were laid for the ecosystems that now flourish on Earth, and on which we ourselves depend. It has to be said, however, that sometimes some of us regard a few of these pioneers more as our enemies than our friends.